Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody, please forgive me for being absent for almost a week. Well, more, as a matter of fact, exactly a week, almost exactly a week. But alhamdulillah, I'm just now getting over COVID. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Thanks for all the prayers and blessings that everybody sent me, both the Muslims and non-Muslims alike. It worked. Prayer works for your brother. So your brother and your sister. So alhamdulillah. I left my notes. Give me 1 second. Let me grab my little notes real quick. Okay. Back, inshallah. Okay, so and alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين خصوصا على الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين أما بعد. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to our new platform, the Sunnah for Us. I just want to give a brief introduction into what this is. Sunnah for Us is an initiative I thought of so that we can turn a focus to issues in the Black community that a lot of people are afraid to talk about for one reason or another, or just won't talk about for one reason or another. So we talk about these issues behind closed doors a lot, but we haven't really been acting on them. We got a few people out there that's trying to do something. Well, I think honestly we're missing the mark on hitting these things head on, and really tackling these issues. So when I say the Sunnah for Us, I'm talking about focusing on issues in the Black community, which is legit, which I hope to try to relay in this video today, inshallah ta'ala. So if this is a topic of interest at all, like it, share it. That way we can keep we can manipulate the algorithm to our own benefits. We get an algorithm on our timelines and about a lot of stuff that's kind of irrelevant. Alhamdulillah. So let's play the same game that the devil is playing. Whenever we see a funny video or we see any clip or whatever, and we like it, or whatever, it starts to, it builds an algorithm. So get these types of shows and these type of topics in the algorithm. All I care about is getting the word out there, spreading the truth, spreading the hot. I'm not getting no money from none of this. I get my own money. I take time out of my day to and out of my life to do this, to impart knowledge that alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed me to come in contact with. So that's what this effort is. This is I'm from the Black community. If y'all don't know already, grew up in the hood, grew up in inner cities in Cincinnati, went to prison for a decade, and became passionate about doing people work. Just because I'm so thankful for the share button's on. SubhanAllah. Let me look at it real quick. It should be public. The group is public. So. I don't know, Habibi. Maybe click back out of it and then click back in it. Because at least on mine, it's showing that it can share. Uh, let me look and see if it looks. Yeah, it should be able to share. I'm looking at it on my page. Or from my page, it should be able to share. If not, we'll figure it out. You're in a group, so you know what's happening, Habibi. Okay, you got alhamdulillah. So yeah, we're just trying to we're trying to spread the word. We're trying to get the hawk out there. We're trying to we got a group of guys that we work with. Amir Khalid Abdullah, he is one of them. He's the leader amongst us. That we are trying to bring different perspectives about these issues, because we know everybody is not the same. For the most part, we the same, but we got different situations. Like we say in the hood down here, different strokes with different folks. So we got a nice little, what I like to call our all-star cast, and inshallah, we're gonna be bringing content from y'all or to y'all from various points of view, from different brothers that's been working to from one level to another in the community, boots and hands on. Period. And we're working along with some other groups and some other peoples who also have the same initiatives as well. But at the end of the day, everybody has what everybody has what everybody any of the so-called leaders of any communities, they all focus on their communities, and that's all we're trying to do here. We're not excluding anybody. This is not Asabiya, so all Salafi brothers, please don't come in the inbox or being nasty in the comments, talk about, brother, this is Asabiya and all that. We can talk about that some other time, but that ain't what we got going on. We actually doing the work. We doing some work. We're putting in some work. So let me jump straight in because I'm gonna be short. I just wanted to drop a note, get things back going, get the content built up on this page. The brothers actually have a podcast coming up, the Solutions podcast coming up right after this. So we tuned in, y'all. They got a very, 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 very good topic. Matter of fact, let me look at the so I don't misquote the actual topic. Inexpensive dowries. Is it a sign of irresponsibility for, I just stopped at for Black Muslim men? So that's it. Oh, shoot. What happened? So yeah, we got a nice podcast for the brothers coming up right after this at 7:30 from the brothers at Masjid Uthman Danfodio. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Right out of Philly, right in the trenches, man. But inshallah, let's dive straight in. So, okay, so let's talk about community. How did the Black community come to be where it is today? I'm just gonna fast forward, save y'all a lot of time, save y'all a lot of reading. Of course, everybody know we were enslaved. After our so-called freedom from slavery, we experienced what we call the Jim Crow era, and then after that, we dealt with and still are dealing with what they call the Black laws. The Black laws. These are all different forms of discrimination that was orchestrated by the government and by the people who supported the government against Black people. Said all that to say we're gonna go to a big history lesson. I'm gonna leave that to y'all. I'm pretty sure that y'all. Hey, Imam Muhammad, Imam Abu Muhammad, Salam alaikum, Habibi. I said all that to say all that created an unbalanced situation, an unfair situation for Black folks. The most recent form of government conspired racist politics, as let's just throw it out there, was redlining, where banks collaborated with the American government to agree to draw red lines around cities where Black slaves were coming out of Jim Crow and Black laws, where they were coming out of it and they were resettling in other cities. Cincinnati is a major settlement, redlining settlement. Philly was a major redlining settlement. New York definitely was. Parts of PA, other parts of PA, and Chicago and St. Louis. These were major redlining hubs, even like some parts of Minnesota as well. But the major parts, Detroit, can't forget Detroit. Chicago, Detroit, Cincinnati, Philly, those were the major redlining cities wherever there was a predominance of Black people, or even more than 10%, I read at one time, which was their rule, more than 10%, they would automatically devalue that entire area. They'll devalue the property line, the property value in that area, and we're still experiencing that to this day. And home ownership is the number one form of wealth in America. Really, you can say in the world, but in America, that's the number one form of wealth. So with that being said, that created unfair situations, which put us in unfair conditions. All of the resources, the white people had all of the resources, and when they left, when they did what we call white flight, when black people were coming out of the South and trying to flee Jim Crow and the black laws, they settled in these various cities, and the white folks picked up, and they didn't want to live next to black people. They want to live with black people, so they picked up and they left, and they took all the resources with them, which created what we had in the 60s, 70s, and in the 80s. We had impoverished black neighborhoods, inner city ghettos, or whatever. We all know the terms and lingo. So, with that being said, we had no resources. We had I'm gonna say no resources. We had a lack of resources, but it was tantamount to no resources whatsoever. So, and then we all know about the Reaganomics, when they came in and brought the drugs into our community so that they can finance a war that has nothing to do with anybody other than rich white people. Um, that we all know that. And then after that, like in the 90s throughout to the 2000s, the local government, seeing how they could capitalize off the drug so-called enforcement agencies, and use that to oppress black people. We all know about Joe Biden and his whole crime 94 crime bill, and how that affected many lives, mine included, and how the unfair sentencing, the flooding of drugs into our community. We didn't bring them there; they were bringing them there to set us up. So, all in all, I said all that to say, uh, we have a lack of resources in an unfair situation. So of course we have what I want to call moral and social uh, uh, degradation in our communities. Moral and social degradation in our communities. What I mean when I say that is, of course, we know there's no lack of crime, and we also know that there's no lack of moral. Um, let's say moral crimes. Let's say moral crimes from every angle. So, uh, uh, to the topic, I said all to say, just kind of, I kind of skipped around. I don't want to turn this into a history lesson and make this video real boring. But all that stuff is public records, facts. Y'all can research it, whatever. And then this is a shot. This is a direct punch in the nose for all those Muslims that say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we were enslaved. What are we doing now? We don't have nothing to do anything with. So how can you say what are we doing now? We don't have anything." So. Said all that to say, uh, we as Muslims, number one, and then we have leadership within our black communities, Muslims, our black Muslims. We have leaders amongst ourselves to one degree or another. We got some guys who are very, very, very studied, and we got some guys that's like myself. They just study. We are leaders to one degree or another. Sheikh you told me a long time ago, if you got 5 pieces of candy, you can give away 5 pieces of candy. If you got 2 pieces of candy, you can give away 2 pieces of candy. So whatever we have, we need to bring it to the forefront. So getting to the topic of this video, the importance of sacred knowledge in the black community. So we're Muslim, right? We black brothers and sisters, we Muslim, right? So what does Islam tell us to do? We all know we're supposed to be living a good life, right? Like, what, first and foremost, what is the key to life? What is life? I don't know if this has been grasped, if it's been taught and it's being grasped enough in the black community. Because we're still very distracted by a lot of things that are going on, because we have not firmly established ourselves in our communities. So we kind of distracted by everything that's going on. But one thing that I've held on to since I've come in contact with it is an ayah Quran. ما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. Allah has not created mankind and the jinn for no other reason other than to worship him. Other than to worship. That's the only reason we have been created. That's it. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. So, uh, if we haven't, if you really didn't like come to grips with that before you heard this statement right here, come to grips with it now. We have not been created for no other reason other than to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the only reason why we're here. We can't get distracted by all the other stuff that's going on and going around us. So the importance of sacred knowledge, not just knowledge, not just going to college and becoming an engineer, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer. The people who implement slavery on us on a daily basis are engineers, doctors, and lawyers. That's you. We have to have a moral compass. We have to have a moral guide. We have to have a God over our ego, or your ego will become your God, as we know. As we know, which brings me to another ayah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Qad aflaha man zakkaha," the one who is successful is the one who purifies themselves, the one who purifies himself. So these two ayahs right here are basically the backbone of life. You only live in order to worship Allah. That's the only reason why you're here. And then throughout your life, you should be constantly purifying yourself. The new term is tazkiyah, but it's tasawwuf. It's tasawwuf. It's being a Sufi, singing and dancing and twerking and all that. No, no, not like that. I'm saying purification. Doing what's right with your tongue, doing what's right with all of your limbs. That's all Sufism is. That's all tazkiyah is. Our scholars, the specialty scholars of spirituality, have took it among themselves to gather all of the hadiths, all of the sayings, all of the traditions, all of the practices, both in the time of the Prophet Sallallahu in the time of the Salaf, the time of the Khalaf, and every generation after that, from all of our awliya, from all of our illustrious awliya, the practices, certain practices that would purify us, that would purify our mouths, purify I was going to say our tongues, but our tongues, our eyes, our ears, our hands, all of our limbs, all of the jawari, all of them to purify it. This is life. It brings me to another hadith. When the Prophet ﷺ advises about praying 5 times a day, if there was a river in front of your house, could your clothes remain dirty? This is what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ asked one of his companions. If there was a river in front of your house, could your clothes remain dirty? No. You have access to washing your clothes and cleaning your clothes. That's what tazkiyah is. That's what tasawwuf is. That's what all of your acts and deeds of worship, that's what they are. They're to purify you. It's to purify you. And the only way that you can do this is through sound knowledge. Sound divine knowledge. Now, let me plug this in. We have to follow follow the certified schools of law and the schools of thought, the 4 schools. We have to. Those are the only schools that have an unbroken connection, an unbroken chain, both in Aqidah and fiqh, back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to come to terms with that. If we picking up hadiths and Qurans and doing our own thing, and we just kind of willy-nilly with it, you're gonna be lost in the sauce. The knowledge inside of Islam is like a map. It's to get you to a certain place. We got the Sufiya, we like to call it ihsan. It comes from the word Hassan. It's a superlative verb form. Ihsan. It's like the word akbar. Akbar comes from kabara. Something big, something huge, something great. Akbar is the greatest. We all know this word. It's the same superlative verb form. Hassan, ihsan. You want to get to a place of the most beautiful way. What is the place of the most beautiful way? Those people who constantly purify themselves. If you are constantly purifying yourself, then the social, you won't be affected by the social and the moral crimes, and that's prevalent in our community. We got teenagers shooting other teenagers. in cold blood in the middle of the street in broad daylight. Cold blood. Our women, we wild. We all over the place. The men, we're not respecting the women. We're not giving the value to women. There's fault on both sides. This is what I'm talking about when I say the social and the moral crimes. We got robbery, run amok. We got kidnappings, run amok. We got a whole complete demonic cult developing. That is developed. It's a baby and it's just growing. Like if you look at the rap videos of these kids and they holding up guns bigger than themselves, the guns is taller and bigger than them, and it's 30 of them in one video, and they all they talking about is killing black people, killing black people, killing black people. Shaitan is running off. Why? Because we have not taken the responsibility to educate ourselves, number one, with sound divine knowledge, and then number two, to establish institutions of education, masajid, all throughout our inner cities and in our communities. These places where we live, we don't have no other choice but to live in these places. We don't live anywhere else. We don't have, the average black man makes about $30,000, $35,000 a year. It's unrealistic for us to say, "Oh, well, go to college and get educated and move." That's not a possibility. That's not a possibility. That's not reality. Let's deal with reality as it is. So we have no choice but to live in these neighborhoods and to endure these conditions. How will it change? And we have to have it change, because now these guys is just talking about spinning the block, spinning the block, spinning the block. And you got a 14-year-old riding around with a gun so big, and he just everybody that's outside. He just shooting everybody that's outside. These bullets going everywhere. They're hitting babies. I seen a story about in Tennessee, they killing babies. Bullets flying through the walls. They got 7.62s and 5.56s and 2.23s. These things is exploding through the walls and hit babies in their head while they're asleep. So don't talk to me about asabiya, because other communities are not dealing with these kinds of problems. We have to take the responsibility ourselves and deal with these, and we have to educate ourselves. We have to, and establish educational institutions in our communities. We have to do this. If not, then I've seen subhanAllah, like the Muslims in Philly. All the time I see the Muslims posting their sons getting shot down. They Muslim. They born and raised Muslim. Get shot down in the streets. How are Muslim getting shot? How are we not concerned with this? This makes me think about the hadith when when the angels came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and Ibrahim alayhi salam, he went to tell the angels, he said, "Hold on, it's Muslims in there. I got to go get the Muslims out. I got to tell them that y'all coming and y'all getting ready to destroy the city. I got to get y'all out." They said, "No, we come to destroy them first, because they did not enjoy what is good and forbid what is wrong," which is another command in the Quran. We have to enjoin the good and forbid the wrong. And that doesn't mean you jumping on people's posts and talking bad about them, about what they don't know and how much Arabic they never learned, or you beating people down with all these hadiths and all this stuff that you done learned, that you think that you done learned. That's not enjoining what's good and forbidding what's wrong. That's not that. That's arrogance. Enjoining what's good and forbidding what's wrong is establishing Islam. Wa aqimus salata wa atu zakat. That right there is enjoining what's good and forbidding wrong. If the people in our communities had a spiritual safe haven, we got some places. I'm not saying we don't have any places. We have a shortage of these places. Masajid in the black community. There are more churches in the black community. Of course, there are more Christians, but there are a lot of Muslims. There are a lot of Muslims. And a lot of Muslims wait around for somebody from some other place away across the world. They get bombs dropped on their head, and we are waiting for them to come and save us. They got their own problems. They're working to save their community and the kids and the safety and the well-being in their community. They working. We're not working, black folks. We're not working. And we got some fairly qualified individuals who can help us get to where we need to be. We're not working. Bottom line. The only way that the conditions in our community will change is once we come to grips with spiritual, divine knowledge. That's the only thing that changed me when I was a criminal. There was nothing else that changed me. Only the divine teachings. That's the only thing that changed us. That will change us from the inside out, not from the outside in. We have to come to grips with this. So that's pretty much the message. I want to wrap that up. I want to wrap this up because I really wanted to be very, very, very short with this video. So that the brothers, they coming on, they got a nice topic. I already said it at the beginning. Good brothers and sisters, we have to do better, and we have to know better in order for us to do better. We have to learn first and then implement our teachings. We have to continuously be purifying ourselves. You must seek out some qualified leadership. If you don't seek out any type of qualified leadership, you're not putting in no work. Whenever we are looking for something on Amazon, or we want to become certified for something, some kind of job or something that we want to do and make money off of, we put a lot of energy into that, but we're not putting that much energy into being certified with our knowledge and with our thinking and our souls. When we do that, becoming certified in the worldly things is easier. I became certified in spiritual knowledge before I had a business and started doing decent for myself. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. That came first. The correction of my thinking and my heart came first. And that is what is going, the purification of our heart is what is going to change the Black community from the inside out. If the brothers are, if we work to spread Islam, and everywhere, on every street, on every block that we see Muslims, or we see a good deal of Muslims. We see not a majority, but just a great percentage of Muslims everywhere. We have people who looking at each other. You're not an op. When I'm looking at you, you're not an op. You're a Muslim. And the sacred knowledge says that the Muslim's blood is haram. You can't touch it. You cannot spill it. If anybody spill it, and if anybody transgress it, it don't matter which side it is. If they transgress, then you go to hellfire. You get punished with the hellfire. The Prophet ﷺ told us this. If this is your thought process, and if that is what is in your heart, if that is your belief system, and this is and you see your fellow brother and sister across, around the way and in the neighborhood, instant peace. You think I'm gonna be running around with a Draco looking for this guy? Yeah. Everybody fighting over girls. This girl, she posted a picture and all of that, and then all the guys in the inbox, but it's your wife or it's your intended or whatever. Prophet Islam told us, like, if somebody is engaged or whatever, you can't have that woman. Nobody can say nothing. Look at these principles. These principles hit right on the head of issues that are inside of our community. The Quran, it tells us if you kill a person, it's as if you killed all of mankind. So if you kill one, it said if you kill one person, it's as if you killed all of mankind. Maybe this could be your charge. I even read a hadith. I don't know the condition of the hadith, but it was in a book being used as evidence against murder, that every murder that Cain will get since he was the one who instituted murder first, he will get the sin for every murder that happened after that. And maybe everybody who committed murders after this person and under the influence of this person, like with the gangs or with the big homies on the block or whatever, you're gonna get that too. You're gonna get that responsibility. If you go and tell your young boys, yeah, go spray that up, dude, them violated, and your young boys go and do that, you go get you get the murder on a day of judgment with Allah. If this is your mentality, you should be scared of that. You ain't gonna be involved in it. It will change us. It will change us. 78% of Black women are single mothers. Our kids, our offspring, are growing up without the balance of a household, of the man being in the household. And we all know what that turns into. We've seen it. It turns into the 12, 13, 14-year-olds out here running around here with Dracos and 7.62s. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade us to do zina. He forbade us from fornicating, being with a woman without being married to her. These divine teachings will fix that. It will close the gap on that 78%. It'll close that gap. And now our youngins won't be running around crazy without no type of guidance. So the sacred Islamic knowledge will save any community. It has saved every community that it has ever been established in. We have to know this, believe this, and invest in that. We have to invest in that. If you truly want to see better for your community and for your society, you as a leader will come to grips with the divine knowledge. Learn it to whatever degree that you can learn it. If anybody in any city that is seeing this is having trouble with divine guidance, hit me up. I can hook you up with my folks. We can get you where you need to be, inshallah ta'ala. And we hope that this could spread around the United States and we can have Islam established in all of the places where there's turmoil and strife. I mean, for all communities, definitely, but I can't represent another community that I'm not from. But in our communities, in all of these ghettos and inner cities across the country, from Compton to New Orleans to Tallahassee, Florida, Cincinnati, Detroit, Philly, New York, all these places got all this Baltimore, B-more, all these places got super crazy high murder rates. Cleveland, high, crazy, unbelievable murder rates. We got to get it to stop somehow. We have to. And we're not going to win fighting fire with fire. We need to bring the hidayah. Those who have the ability to learn need to learn and then come back and establish what they learned in their communities. And this way we can absolve ourselves from the fardu kifaya of enjoining what's good and forbidding what's bad. Men, this is our responsibility. This is a responsibility for the men. We have to do this. We have to. It's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not going around talking to people how many hadiths that you know. No, conveying the context and the hikmah of the hadith. That is what a true teacher does. Not talking about, oh, I know this and you don't know this and this, that, and no, not trying to further war. We already got slave owners. We don't need any more slave owners. We need to be empowered. If you got a bunch of hadiths, you know some stuff about mustalah, you good at Arabic, you need to be setting up some type of institution to spread this knowledge. To spread this knowledge. You need to be setting up some type of institution to spread it. I don't care if it's a beginner's Arabic institution. If it's a beginner's how to read the Quran institution. If it's a beginner's tafsir class, or if we just establish groups that's reading authentic tafsir, reading authentic fiqh. We need to be doing this. And we falling behind. We're lacking and we falling behind. The murder rates are going up. The teen pregnancy rates are going up. The zina rates are going up. The incarceration rates are going up. Everything that can and will destroy us as a people is lit and is hot and is on fire. Are we going to be the ones? Are we going to let another generation pass when we don't enjoy what's good and forbid what's wrong? Or is another generation going to pass? Are we going to continue to stand around and do nothing and look at it like, oh, them young boys, they don't want to learn nothing. They don't want to do nothing. These people, they don't want to. Are we going to continue to be them, what I like to call Negro naysayers? Are we going to continue to be that, or are we going to become proactive and do something about it? Are we going to do something about it? Are we going to provide sound knowledge for the mind and the heart? After you get the sound knowledge into the mind and the heart, the limbs come. The body follows. Right now, our minds and our hearts are following our bodies, not the other way around. That's because we, those people who are in leadership, we haven't taken the necessary steps to establish divine knowledge in our communities. The police aren't going to change it. Black Lives Matter are not going to change it. Women helping women, they're not going to change it. Only the Muslims have the ingredient, and the door is wide open for us to do it. Only the Muslims have the ingredients. So what are we gonna do? So I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm right at my limit. I can't see who this is. It says Facebook user says, "Let me hold something, brother." Brother, I just gave you a lot of dings, so that's the best thing that I could give you. I need to hold something. Malikum salam. Whoever this, I can't see who it is. That's weird. It say Facebook user. That's weird. I don't see any comments on here. Alhamdulillah. I like to try to address some of the comments, but we stay tuned, y'all. Like and share this. If it was a good talk, like and share it. If not, still share it and get somebody to correct me. I like the corrections. I don't want to argue with nobody. I'm saying corrections, sound of good corrections, whatever. It's still sharp and steel around here. We don't play no other game. But I love y'all for the sake of Allah. There's no other comments. Like I said, if I said anything wrong, that's from me. It's not from Allah. It's not from the book of Allah. It's not from the messengers. It's not from the companions or the illustrious imams and leaders and scholars in our community. This is just my effort and my best foot forward. These are just my little minor contributions. So I love y'all for the sake of Allah. Please tune in tonight. We will air it out of the group. It'll be on my page. Every outlet that I have, we're gonna have it on. The Tajdeed Sunnah Institute, brought to you by Masjid Uthman Danfodio in Philly, headed by the brothers Amir Khalil Abdullahi and Imam Abu Muhammad al-Maliki, two brothers who are got their boots and their hands on the ground. Alhamdulillah, they're working in the community. They got a good topic tonight, so y'all stay tuned in. We're gonna share it in the group. We're gonna have it on my page. Any outlets that I'm connected with, we'll have them on there. So I love y'all for the sake of Allah. Include the call of Hada wa astaghfirullah wa la ilaha illallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.